Okay, I can tell you're getting a bit hateful for my continuous cliffhangers. Don't worry, I shouldn't be doing any more of those. I slowly awoke to a searing pain everywhere in my body. I tried to haul myself on my feet, but I can only stand on all fours. Why was that? Then my eyes bugged as the memories jolted through my brain. I remembered. I'm in Jama itself. I breathed painfully to myself. I'm a complete animal now. Again, I tried to get up. The pain was horrible, but I managed to sit up. I looked myself over. I was a normal-looking Arctic wolf, light brown with a white underbelly and dark brown lightning patterns. No items, it seems. Are you lost? A voice asked from behind me. I whirled around and doubled over in pain. I barely got a glimpse of the animal before they ran away off screaming. I blinked back tears. I could only assume that I was broken in some way. Now that I thought about it, the top left part of my head was numb with pain. Slowly, I dragged myself from Serapia Forest to Mount Cheever to the hot spring. I looked at my reflection and almost fainted again. The top left part of my head was covered in blood, and I could see cracked white skull bone peeking out from the mass of hanging flesh and bloody drops. No, I mumbled shakily, backing away from the truth of the situation. I refused to believe it. I didn't want to believe anything I was seeing. This had to be a dream. I was dreaming some torture again, but as much as I said it over and over in my searing head, I didn't wake up. This was all real. I was on the verge of tears as I limped away, looking for the nearest place to sit down and rot. My right back paw seemed to be broken as it dragged along behind me uselessly. I found a cave after much struggling and screaming of fleeing animals. With a sigh and a grunt, I threw myself into the small cave and let the tears silently slip down from my face. I didn't know how long I was in there, but after a while I heard a menacing voice coming from the exit. Dear me, I think you're breaking. What have the CCA done to you? My head shot up and looked towards the voice. I stared. This figure was in direct sunlight, so why was it completely pitch black? All I could see was a black, bird-like body and two solid white circles I assumed to be eyes. What are you? I stuttered, scooting back from the figure. Are you another one? The figure laughed, shaking its dark head. It outstretched its wings, blocking out the light that shone into my little hole. Only its white, cold eyes were visible through the darkness. You don't remember me. I'm a bit offended. You can't even remember who you really are, can you? Fool of an animal. Is this really what you've become? I can see why the CCA are after you. In this state, you can be bent as much as they want. You're weak! Vulnerable! It shouted at me. I yelped. What do you mean? I know who I am. I'm a human being that the CCA pulled into this place. I'm not like you, I screamed, afraid of this thing and what it was saying. I've had enough of the pain and confusion for a while. I didn't need any more questions. Oh my, you've really been lost deep, it mumbled sadly. Look around you. Did you ever pay attention to anything in Jama? Why don't you ever see the Alphas stepping in? The Alphas are well aware of the CCA, but they decided to wait. They're waiting for their leader. I don't know what you're talking about. The CCA want me as their leader. Are you saying that the Alphas do too? The figure laughed. It must have opened its beak wide because I began to see two rows of sharp, glowing white teeth. Its eyes shifted to a dark, bloody-looking shade of red, and it advanced closer until it was right in my face. They don't want you like this. You're so lost and weak. You should have seen yourself in all those years ago. Such a fiery, strong spirit. Whatever happened to that side of you? Now you are nothing but memories waiting to be forgotten. Even the lowly animals of Jama barely know you. They've lost all hope of ever seeing you return. I snarled, making a sudden move to the fracture in my head. Without any warning, it opened its beak wide and bit down on that sensitive area as hard as I could. I screamed in agony, my new wolf ears picking up on horrifying squelching sounds from my head. I felt little bits of flesh and other things I didn't want to name being ripped from the rest of me. I continued to scream, feeling a fast flow of blood streaming down the side of my face, and the frightening crack of my skull starting to shatter. Then my hearing grew suddenly worse, and more pain exploded from my head, where my left ear was. Well, where my left ear used to be. I thought it was all over, done for, the pain was too much. But then, from the entrance, another figure stood. There she is! I told you! The unfamiliar animal set off to the side where I couldn't see. The shadowy figure instantly released my throbbing head and disappeared into thin air. I was panting, the blood from my head still falling freely down my face onto the cave floor. My eyes adjusted to the light, and I stared blankly at the bloody remains of my left ear on the floor. Tears were blurring my sight, and I couldn't make out the animals staring into the cave at me, this monster. Ouch, she doesn't look too good, one male voice commented. But look, she has no name tag. She must be one of the escapees, a female voice insisted. I shuddered and tried to get up, but once again I couldn't. Who are you animals? We are one of the very few escapees of the recyclement. I'm Nora, and this is Okami and Hun, Nora said. I blinked away the tears in my eyes long enough to properly look at them. Okami, the male Arctic wolf, Hun, the male crocodile, and Nora, the female deer. I tried to stay conscious long enough for me to recognize what they looked like, but the pain was just too much. My head fell to the cave floor, and my vision faded to black. Don't worry, pal. You're safe with us now. That was all I heard before it all faded away.